So we are back with Mr. Ben Carter of
ManageYourDamnMoney.com. Yes, ManageYourDamnMoney.com. That's the website. The company is called Manage Your Damn Money LLC. And essentially what we do is the core of what we do is we try to make money fun, less boring. Because there's a lot of people who are being missed by financial education as it is currently. So we're trying to add a little bit of funk to it, a little taste to it. So that's kind of the gist of what we do. And we have a show that's on YouTube and also is on the website. So.
And see, I when I first saw or heard about ManageYourDamnMoney.com, I was on Facebook. And, you know, when you're on Facebook, you see so many people promoting, go to this site, listen to this song, read this, blah, 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 blah. What really caught my eye, and I think you guys probably really put a lot of thought in it because of this, is when I saw the link for it, I was like, what is this? ManageYourDamnMoney.com. I was like, who? I've never seen anything like that. And it's not because I knew you prior that I clicked, but I was just really interested to know, like, how's he backing this up? And so I went to the site and I read some of your articles that you had posted, and I was like, this is really interesting. This is so great that he's doing this, because a lot of people don't realize how important money is, even down to like small expenses that you make every day, $3 or $4 purchases that you think, oh, it's nothing, but adds up to hundreds of dollars.
It's part of everyday life
over the year. Right. I remember you had this one article, it was the first one I read actually, where you were trying to justify the guacamole purchase at Chipotle. I thought that was so interesting because I do that.
Doesn't everybody?
When I'm in line,
you like, am I gonna pay this extra $2.50?
Yes, like when I get Chipotle, it's not a question that I'm getting chips. I don't care how many times they raise the prices, a dime, a nickel, quarter, whatever. I'm getting chips with my burrito bowl, and I never stop to think like, maybe if I don't get it,
I mean, it's actually pretty affordable. It's like, I think the chicken bowl is $6.37. I remember prices like that pretty well. It's like $6.37 if you don't get any extras. So every time I cross, you deciding whether or not you want to cross into 7 and 8 territory. And that might make a difference.
It does. And but I do that other places too, not just with food, but like in Target. Like I really do need this. I'll get it now, so I don't have to get it later. And then it's whatever it is, it sits in my house and I don't see it again for months. Absolutely. But I like how your approach is, because it's really relatable to everyone that's reading.
Well, I think that's kind of the core of what we're doing. I think anywhere you see like financial education, it's really serious usually. The most playful, I guess, way that money's dealt with is maybe like Susie Orman, at least on a large scale. And her show is on CNBC. Like nobody's gonna, if somebody loves Susie Orman, they'll turn to her show on CNBC. I think she also has some stuff on like PBS. But you're not gonna watch anything else that's on CNBC. So I think that's primarily because CNBC is like really complicated. You got like numbers running at the bottom, the different stock tickers and whatnot. So when people see that, they kind of tune out and they say, there's nothing for me here. So what we do is try and focus on, first of all, the show. We interview money professionals who are tied to money in some kind of way. And then we also interview artists. So like rappers, singers, poets, people who might do like actual paint, that kind of thing. And we get a sense of how they deal with money. Some deal with money every day and are very like attentive to it. Other artists are like, I don't even know what happens. I just sing. And then also with the written component, we have a blog attached to the website. And we just try and turn everyday situations into something to think about money. And we're not necessarily we don't give advice.
Right.
We focus on just sharing and telling stories and then tying them into things that you could think about, like when Beyonce and Jay-Z went on tour, everybody like, oh, girl, I gotta get my tickets.
Right? Just like that.
Just like that.
I saw that too.
Right. So what I did, I was like, well, how much does it cost to go to a Jay-Z and Beyonce concert? Like,
it was at least $100.
Let's analyze how much this is gonna how much is gonna come out of your pocket. Tickets, if you get like,
No.
If you get like horrible
illegal,
seats, like no nosebleed section, that's gonna be at least what, $200?
Is it that much?
Something like that. That concert, as much as I love Beyonce,
On
like
the
you guys
Run
know,
was not cheap.
I did not go to that concert because it was crazy.
Did they come to Verizon?
No, they went to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. It was a stadium tour.
Oh, right.
And that was another reason. You sit so far back from where you would be if you're at the Verizon Center or another venue, but you're getting this Jay-Z Beyonce experience for 3 hours or so. So people felt, okay, I'm going to go. You never get to see him again, possibly, but I didn't go. Because
I mean,
it was just
we're not even talking about good seats. We're talking about like the top. So we'll call it 300, and so we'll just say 300 to be nice. Assuming you don't live in an area where the concert stadium is right down the street, you're gonna spend $50 on travel, and then you gotta eat for that day. You gotta park probably. So all these things added up, and whatever it was, I ended up just making up the number after I added it together. It was like $600 some to go to a Jay-Z, and that was like by yourself.
So how much is it to go to a Billy Ocean concert? Is it that much?
Who is Billy Ocean?
You ain't that young.
I don't. That doesn't even ring a bell.
You know why I know Billy Ocean?
Can you please just tell them who Billy Ocean is?
Who is Billy
Caribbean
Ocean?
Queen?
Maybe if you sing a song to me, it would like ring a bell.
A little bit of Caribbean Queen. A little bit.
Just give me a little tune or a taste.
A little touch of the hook. I play it for you.
Okay, you play it for me later. All right.
No, thank you, Ray.
So what got you into this business of managing your money? Was it just, did you see a glaring need for people that you knew that just needed to manage their money better? Or were you in a spot where, you know what, I need to fix my credit, or I need to save more money?
No,
what took you down that path?
I don't have any like story like I was in debt, and you know, like I've always been somebody who's been very like conscious of money. My mom always tells people a story like of me being like 7 or 8, and I told her like, don't buy me Christmas gifts. And she was like, why? I was like, you just buy them after and get them when they're on sale. So like I had and I can even remember thinking about money even earlier than that. And so I think I always had like a real weird concept.
How do you instill that in children? I could teach that to my 7-year-old.
Honestly, I don't think it's something that comes with, I think it just came naturally. Like I just had some weird obsession with like resources. And I think to some extent also I had the perception early on in life that like we weren't well off financially as a family. We were like decent. Like I came up, I guess, lower.
Mitchellville.
I'm from California.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No offense.
That's why
but DC dudes don't act like that.
That's why
they a little smoother than DC.
He has a great personality. That's probably why.
Oh, you got a problem with DMV?
Hey,
dudes?
sometimes.
No, I can just tell. Just like it is a certain way that DMV dudes carry themselves. And dudes from out of town, they get all the bitches because they come in acting like, they come in acting like him, like an R&B sensation, and then they all over.
That's funny.
So what are your splurge items? What is something that you go, money is not an object? Let me guess, loafers.
No. I'm just now actually graduating to this, like my first pair of loafers. Like I wore Vans forever. And
but when you look at it, you go, money is no object. Doesn't matter. I'm doing it.
I think the place that I struggle with mostly is eating out.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It is a woman in here, and you cannot talk around her like that. Eating out, nobody got that.
That's real nasty. That's real nasty.
But like, what's your favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant? I can go for like are you talking about expensive restaurants?
Yeah, like one place you like. I'm paying it. It doesn't matter. I'm paying
it. See, because I don't really think like that. I think, how much do I feel like spending? And that's where I'm going to go. So, like, if I'm on a budget that week, for whatever reason, then my taste is not going to go beyond Potbelly.
That's discipline.
That's a good idea.
That's discipline. I wish I had that.
Yeah, but then if, like, things are good, then, you know, I might be like, Nando Peri Peri. I can do that, like, half chicken for $12 or whatever it is. You know?
Now, some people will call that cheap. I call that smart.
Yeah.
How do you relate that to women? If you're in a relationship with a woman, is she automatically frugal since you frugal?
Well,
or you like, no, we eating Wendy's tonight?
Well, to tell the story, like I'm getting married in the summer, and my fiance was like, when I met her,
Hey, Monica.
she was.
Is that the one that came last week?
No.
When I met her, like she was living at home, she was working like a good job, and she, like, you know, we're just starting to get to know each other. And she told me how much she had saved, and like savings was like a different language to her. She was like, I saved $300, and the rest she would just like spend. And so since then, you know, we've been together like 4+ years or whatever it's been. And since then, now she's much better. So I think she has a different approach to the use of her money. And then, of course, when you're living at home, you don't really have no major bills.
So
to pay.
what do you see? I'm curious to see your position on, like, what do you save for? Like, to me, I can save, but it's saving for something.
Oh,
you know, like some people, like my daughter's got like a squirrel fund. Like,
Okay.
it ain't never coming out that way. You know what I'm saying? She's spending your money, not hers. But like I'll go, you know what, I need to do this, or I need to do that, or I know I got to go on vacation this year. I got to save this amount.
Right.
Are you one of those people that save for events or certain days, or you just squirreling it in case of catastrophe happens?
That's it. I squirrel and use it for whatever needs to happen. Like, so at one point, this is like kind of secret information, but now I'm telling it, whatever. At one point I had 2 full-time jobs. So that helped me pay for like the
How do you pull that off? Was one at night?
and one was like work from home, and then one was like
okay.
physical. So I would just literally be there on 2 computers doing 2 jobs. So I did that for like a certain amount of time. That helped me pay for the hardware to, you know, ask to, you know, be married. And then I forgot the question though.
No, do you save for big events? Do you save for something specific? Or your bank account just swole?
Right. No,
For no reason.
So I just try and pack away as much as I can and be as for whatever events come up. So now that I did that and kind of did some heavy saving and then had 2 jobs for a period of time, this year we're getting married, so we're paying for a portion of that with some help from her parents. Then also we got that Abu Dhabi deal.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, so we got that.
On Christmas Day. On Christmas Day.
It was on Christmas Day. Flight to Abu Dhabi for like $210.
It was like some glitch or something.
Yeah.
And you
They
took advantage. Yeah, they honored it, but they fixed it obviously once they figured out what was going on. But I mean, that was
it's gonna
crazy.
be a whole lot of folk on the way to Abu Dhabi on a particular day.
It's fun. This is the way I think. Nothing really is going to surprise you that's going to be more than 10 grand. Like 10 grand will cover you for just about anything. To me, anything over 10 grand is surplus.
Sure.
So if I got 15 grand, my wife's going to spend that 5. But 10 is usually like a good cushion for something bad happening, unforeseen expense. If you already own a home, if you already have a car, just the basic things, 10 grand is usually a good number. Shouldn't you enjoy the rest?
I mean, I think they say all politics is local. I think all finances are personal. And if your situation makes you feel like, I can enjoy the rest of what I got on top of this 10 G's, by all means, go ahead. I'm
not talking about liquid assets, 10 grand. I'm just saying you're saving.
If
you got 10 grand in the bank. To me, anything past 10 is fair game.
So you stay at a minimum of 10,000.
I'm not using that number.
Well, for
there's a number in our household that has to be maintained.
Right.
If something happens, if we go $1 below that has to be replaced.
Yeah.
But anything above that amount,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
party
that.
time.
I'm gonna institute that in my home.
No, but I'm is that what you? Because I know that some people are just stingy. They just save money. I got 50 grand. So what? I'm not paying for this Starbucks. You paying for the Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Are you one of those guys, or how does it go?
Nah, and I used to be, but that
because you was working hard for that money.
But that was a function of not having enough money usually. Like when I first moved out to DC, I went to grad school in Syracuse after Hampton University. Moved down, and then I worked at Banana Republic.
Real hate you.
Yeah, I went from Banana Republic. I was like a waiter at Matchbox. If y'all know about
the pizza.
I was there for a month. It was a new location in Rockville, and then in all this, I was struggling. I was living on my buddy's living room for way too long, and then eventually rented an apartment with no idea how I was gonna pay it because I didn't really have a job that was providing me with income like that. And then I finally got a job at a Sunglass Hut as the assistant manager inside of Macy's. There was no actual manager. I was just the assistant to nobody. And so during that time, when money wasn't coming in like that, I had to be frugal on that level. I had cable, and I was like, yo, this $50, $60, $70 is hitting me hard.
Cheap as a
cable? This was at a time.
I grew up without cable. So
I've done no cable before.
It ain't that
Just
hard.
to save $50? I mean, really, is that $50
Well,
really going to?
especially if you're not into TV
But
shows
when,
like
but
that.
when you don't have 10 G's just sitting in the bank like that.
I didn't know. I was just using that as an example.
Where you bank at,
I
right?
was using that as an example.
What's your bank card?
I was using that as an example. But that's really not going to change the scope of your life.
It might. Over time.
It might.
You got some people. I was interested when he said manage your damn money. I was like, this guy's got to be cheap. You know, manage your money. They're usually cheap.
The core of me is cheap.
Yeah, I'm cheap too. Don't worry. Okay. But it's a certain level of living your life and enjoying what you have while you can enjoy it that makes it all worth it.
I think,
right?
If anything, the thing that I've learned most about money myself personally lately is exactly what you said. I think once you pass a certain point in your own personal level of comfort, whether that's I got 5,000 saved, or I got 10,000 or 20,000, whatever. Once you reach that point, then I think it's worth talking about enjoying life. For instance, my fiance, who, you know, she's better at saving, but she still is the spender, I guess. She would sometimes say it's me, but we're going to Puerto Rico in February.
Have fun.
Right.
Me too.
Wait, hold up.
Hope I see you.
Hold up. Abu Dhabi, and then we still haven't even booked the honeymoon trip. And we supposed to
July,
go to
right?
supposed to go to Greece, I guess.
Jeez.
So my old self
being cheap.
No.
Listen.
My old self wouldn't have allowed that, but I look at it like this. I'm about to be 28. I'm 27 now. She's going to be 29 in like a couple of days. We only got our youth for a second longer.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon somebody's gonna be asking for some crying babies. Mm-hmm. You know, you're gonna have to fulfill that. You're gonna have to fulfill that, I guess, at some point.
She's been rolling up boogers the whole time you've been talking. Doing stuff like that, you ain't gonna get pregnant.
I hate you.
Right in my face too. Like, I don't care what you think, Rex. I would ask you, how do you feel about credit cards, carrying balances, and what do you think is a good credit product on the market right now?
I think particularly for we kind of focus on youth, millennials. I think number one, you just want a low interest rate. You don't want to have to pay like a yearly fee. That's like on some other adult.
Well, no, you gonna pay a yearly something. I'm sorry.
I don't have any credit cards in which I pay a yearly fee. I have two.
What do you carry?
What I carry in a balance is different. I was doing good last year, and then you start paying for stuff for weddings. You might be carrying a little bag from month.
No, I'm just saying, like, what is a good company if somebody's listening to you?
I wouldn't.
And look at you as somebody that's a financial expert.
I think I mean, I don't know anymore in terms of who's offering what.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of which company. It's really
not at all.
what the limit is. Like, you shouldn't accept something that you know that you can't pay back in a month.
Now, this is what I always subscribe to. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of old. Okay. But charge cards are the best thing that you could possibly do. Because it's a credit product in the sense of, it's plastic and you can use it the same way a credit card is. Right. And you don't have the limitations of having credit limits. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you have to pay it back then and there.
Right.
So it really teaches you discipline on saving and doing what you're supposed to do. But at the same time, it offers you all the benefits of having a credit card.
Right. I think a lot of people miss the benefits of having a credit card. They think that credit card means bad.
Free money. Yeah.
No, they mean bad. Well, I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about people who understand that you have to pay back. If you're a college student and you don't know that you have to pay back what you spend, then we gotta have a different conversation. Right. But I think once you understand that those basics, it's helpful because number one, you're not spending your money technically. You're not swiping a debit card. We all know like fraud and stuff like that. Yeah. Swiping your debit card, a lot of people don't know this. When you swipe a debit card, if somebody hijacks that information and uses it to buy stuff, it's much harder to get your money back than it is to get a credit card. With credit card, they're like, oh, somebody stole your card. Okay, shut it down, cancel the charges. That's it.
See your new card.
But when your debit card is jacked, that cash is gone. And, so I got into a habit actually of using my credit card more than my debit. For a long time, I was strictly just using my credit card.
To me, it's much safer.
It's much safer. It's like a buffer between you and your money.
But how do you get people in the mindset of doing that one and not going overboard. Because like you said, discipline is a big thing. I have one big credit card that I don't even carry in my wallet. That's
emergencies only.
Yeah. Right. And I don't even carry it around.
Right.
But I do that on purpose because I know if I'm swiping oh fuck that, I'm gonna get this.
That lobster surf and turf.
That iPad 2 is on I gotta pay it back right now. So I don't even how do you condition your mind to get to that point?
I'll put it to you like this. There's a woman who writes for the Washington Post. Her name is Michelle Singletary, and she was the first person I ever heard spoke about money in a way that I related to. She's funny, relatable, etc. She has this thing where she says, carry around cash for a week or a month and don't swipe a card. And essentially her point is that when you spend with cash, you're more careful about what you spend on as opposed to swiping a card, because a card doesn't really represent your money actually. So I think I definitely am one who I'll go in there and swipe for a Red Bull or for whatever it is, little BS here, and through the week that could be $40, and I'm not necessarily saying at this point $40 is hurting me like that, but did I need to spend $40? So I think it's about individual, like you said, discipline, understanding that not everything you want at that moment is a need, and then just trying to manage yourself. But there's been weeks where I was like, ooh, this shirt from H&M is on sale.
You look like you shop at H&M, the men's section.
Listen,
I be in that joint.
There's nothing wrong with that. I wish I could look that slick. With
you can go to H&M.
I'm fat. I can't wear.
Oh my gosh!
I look like wearing some H&M jeans.
We can't wear. We can't shop at H&M.
You don't gotta wear their jeans, but you can wear their sweaters, their jackets, their shirts.
Low key, I do kind of get upset when I see bigger cats trying to wear snug clothes. I'm like, dog, that's not for you. That's not for you.
If you 200 pounds and over, you are not allowed to dress
at all.
You can't be wearing a medium and have a little pudge hanging over your butt.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why you gotta wear a sweatshirt to hide the titties.
Oh, crazy.
Anyway, I wish we could talk longer. You're a really good guest. I can tell that you value the entertainment part of it for your YouTube show.
That's number one. Because without entertaining people, particularly in this day and age with Instagram, people who, I guess I could say it on this show, people have their boobs out and they get 10,000 likes
on this show, trash. On this show.
I just heard your mouth. That's all. I'm just following.
Zing.
So, manageyourdamnmoney.com. We're working on season 2 currently, and just hoping to grow the presence in the brand over time, and hopefully it'll become something of note.
Well, I'd love for you to come back. Hey, we got a network here. You might want to transition that into.
I would love to come back.
Some type of live format. Manage Your Money Radio, baby.
Yeah,
And one thing, Miss Sophia, I wanted to point out: every dude Ebony brings in here is some little light-skinned cat with light facial hair
you
and
talking about
tight
Lex
clothes.
And then now Ben.
Oh, them little boys you wanted here last week. I ain't forget about them.
So am I light skinned?
Yeah.
Oh,
you lighter than me. You light skinned.
Y'all the same complexion.
Wait,
you a lighter, right?
My ashy. That's ash. Ebony, I see what you doing, girl.
Whatever.
My bad. Give a shout out to your website again, and I hope you come back soon.
Absolutely. ManageYourDamnMoney.com, and then also you can follow us on all the different social media platforms. MYDM1.
ManageYourDamnMoney.com, MYDM1. That's on Instagram, right?
That's on Instagram.
The Instagram is popping.
The Twitter
is on fire.
And I guess Facebook.com/ManageYourDamnMoney.
Facebook.com/ManageYourDamnMoney. It's hot like fire. Check him out. We'll be right back on the Rex Stanley Show where Ray shine.